I just want to say I fucking love Junji Ito. What's up, guys? My name's Larcy. Welcome to my channel. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Today is something a little bit spooky because it's the 23rd of October as I'm filming this. And, yeah, we're about a week away from Halloween. Can't wait for Halloween. It's going to be a great time. But today, as you can see from the title, from the thumbnail, is a manga review. It will be the second one. And I'm pumped. I can't wait to start talking about this. Today, we're going to be talking about Junji Ito's Censor. Fucking absolutely beautiful manga, if I do say so myself. This is just the cover, by the way. This is a book cover. So it says Censor in bright gold, reflective gold. And then you have all the golden strands everywhere. And then there's the back. So, yep, says, did she wander in or was she drawn in? But then, if you go ahead and take off the sleeve, you see the actual book, and it's like the sky with all the strands and the stars on the back, and then Censor in reflective gold again on the side. I absolutely love that it has a sleeve, like an actual book cover sleeve. It's absolutely beautiful. It's fantastic. It's great. Junji Ito up there, Censor across. Beautiful. When you are reading it, be careful though. Your palms get a little sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. But so you open it up and you're greeted with this little summary right there, which I will actually go ahead and read to you guys. A woman walks alone at the foot of Mount Sengoku. A man appears, saying he's been waiting for her, and invites her to a nearby village. Surprisingly, the village is covered in hair-like volcanic glass fibers, all shining a bright gold. That night, as the villagers gaze up at the starry sky, countless unidentified flying objects come raining down on them, the opening act for the terror about to occur. So yeah, when you pick up this book, the summary will not be on the back like most books. It will be inside on the actual sleeve itself, right? So that is the summary. And then at the end, you'll see a little summary about Junji Ito and about him making this story and how he was inspired. So first, I want to say this is not my first Junji Ito read, but it is my very first Junji Ito owned book. I have read Uzumaki, being the first one. Fantastic. Absolutely loved it. And then Remna. Also loved it. Wasn't too keen on the ending, but I still loved it. Excuse me. And now Censor. And I love this. I thought this was really good. There's a lot to talk about, so of course we'll do the non-spoilers and then the spoilers. All right, so let's get right into it. That's good. All right, sorry. 'Tis the season for hot chocolate and zero mugs and Nightmare Before Christmas beanies. Okay, I'm getting off topic. Anyways, let's get right into it. So I loved Censor. I thought it was great. It is a cosmic, sci-fi horror, which I'm absolutely in love with. I love those. I love Signs and Extraterrestrial and The Fourth Kind and all those fucking alien sci-fi movies. I love them. Okay, they're great. Now, unlike Junji Ito's other works like Tomi and Uzumaki, it's not a bunch of short stories comprised into one book. It is just one volume, one shot, one complete story. Now, while reading it, to be honest, that can get a little bit confusing because sometimes it doesn't feel like one story. It does break off into tangents, and it does get a little bit confusing. But I mean, I could say that, I guess, for a lot of his works. Like, Uzumaki is, like, one consistent story, but it breaks off into sections, and it gets thrown all over the place. But because Junji Ito is such a good writer, even though this breaks off into like sections for one cohesive story, even though it may not feel like one cohesive story, it's those tangents that make you curious and that draw you into it. It's like something new happens and you want to find out more about it, and then something new happened again, you want to find out more about it. And maybe that's because of his writing, or maybe that's because of his fucking beautiful artwork that he has accomplished in these series. But yeah, Censor is fantastic. I think I like it more than Remna, but yeah, they're both like cosmic horrors. So the first thing I will say, I think this book has some of his best artwork. I think some of these shots are absolutely fucking insane. And the whole premise of it is just great. All right, so just like most of Junji Ito's works, it is followed by a beautiful young lady, and her name is Kyoko. She winds up herself lost at the foot of Mount Sengoku, which is a volcano. And this volcano erupts golden hair. Yeah. All of this, all that shit is golden hairs. Now, these golden hairs are very, very important. So Kyoko finds this village of people, and their village is covered in hundreds, if thousands, millions of these thin gold-like strands of hair all over it, which already makes her very uneasy and puts her in kind of some distress, which, I mean, it would for me too. Imagine walking up to a village and it's just covered in gold hair. Like, what? That's fucking insane. So these villagers happen to be a part of a old cult, and every night they stare up at the sky and try to connect with their beloved leader. But on this same night that Kyoko coincidentally happened to be there, Mount Sengoku erupted and covered Kyoko in thousands of millions of gold-like strands of hair. And the next morning, it gets very, very interesting. I can't go too far into that because that is spoilers, and we will save that for the next section. I just kind of wanted to give an overall view of how this story starts out. It does start off very, very confusing, but towards the end of the story, it does explain itself a lot better, in my opinion. But yeah, Junji Ito is very good at having these main female protagonists being in distress and really creeping the reader out and getting them hooked onto it, and you just want to keep reading to find out what happens. And like I said, yes, the story does break off into multiple tangents of like UFOs and mutations and godlike beings and all that shit. But it's really fun, and I still do enjoy it. And if you love Junji Ito, you should definitely give it a read. That's really all I can talk about. I mean, like I said, female MC followed by some male characters as well that, just kind of fall in love with her, stuff like that. She has now very long, beautiful golden hair that everyone is just enthralled by. So that's a key part as well. But covered in gold hair, and where the story goes is insane. So we'll talk about that literally right now. So again, Censor, great book. Go read it if you haven't. I'm about to go into spoilers, so you've been warned. All right, so now we're in the spoiler section. So I'm going to go over this again a little briefly. Okay, so I have my notes here. Okay, so pretty much, like I said, how the story starts. Kyoko is going to Mount Sengoku simply because she says she felt drawn to the mountain somehow. And then there she meets a man who mysteriously he happens to know everything about her. And he explains he is a resident of the village, which is a village that, is covered in all of the gold angel hair. And also the gold angel hair is pretty much like the volcano, erupts, and then as the lava cools to ash, it cools in like thin gold angel hair like strands as it's just raining down over top of everything. Now, here's the fun part. The gold like angel hair strands give you like pretty much godlike powers, godlike abilities. They heighten your senses, pretty much. Like it gives them telepathy and the ability to peer into the cosmos. Like it's nutty. It's insane. It's so cool. But yeah, so villagers, Kyoko goes to the villagers, and that's where she sees everything covered in the gold hair. And they pretty much tell her their ancestors, they had a Christian leader whose name was Miguel centuries ago, and he was put to death by the shogunate for not renouncing their faith and their religion. So, and then ever since that point, the gold-like strands of angel hair they call amagami. They call it I think I'm saying that right. Amagami, and they believe that it was their leader Miguel's hair. Like they look at this guy as an absolute god. Okay, like the hair, it doesn't disintegrate like it does everywhere else. It lingers and sticks to them, and like everything that they're I think that they're touching, like their home, their village, and everything. It sticks to them. It sticks to their body and their hair, and it heightens their abilities. It gives them these telepathy powers and cosmic abilities, and that they think it just brings them absolute happiness. So the Miguel, who they see as their god, the Amagami, the golden like hair strands, had told them that Kyoko was coming. It foresaw this and was destined to bring them joy and comfort. So Kyoko is pretty startled by all this, as I would be too. I would not know what to do with it. But even though she's scared, she still decides to partake in their staring at the night sky, indulging in the cosmos, and trying to find their leader's like divine form. But when a shower of the gold hair, the angel hair, comes down, when the golden shower of the Amagami heightens their abilities to incredible levels, the village ends up sensing not their lord, not the Miguel, not their god that they praise, but a dark black, it's a dark black, tall fucking figure entity. It's just dark. It's demonic. It looks evil, and they see that instead. So that night, the Mount Sengoku erupted while Kyoko was there, staring with them at the night sky, covered them in the angel hair, and they saw this just black, like monster, alien, demon thing. And then 60 years later, big time skip, after Mount Sengoku had erupted, for the first time in decades, a team of scientists and investigators. They went down there and they find a cocoon made of this gold-like angel hair. And who happens to be inside this cocoon is our main MC, Kyoko. Yes, this chick survived 60 fucking years in a golden cocoon after the volcano erupted. Which is then. And yeah, this pretty much sets the stage for all these different tangents we go down with, like, UFOs and mutations, and they bring this really, really dope villain into the mix. Because pretty much what happens is there's a reporter who is the side character, and there's a huge conspiracy that's going on, and so this guy is very curious about her and, like, wants to find out more, pretty much. So and then from there, there's a lot of shit that happens. Like I said, it breaks off into tangents, and I won't go deep into, like, all the tangents, but the main thing is she now has just this long fucking gold hair that's beautiful to everyone. And she is supposed to be the chosen one. She's supposed to be the savior. There is, though, a cult of people, and this is, like, the main villains, I guess, of the book, and their leader. Oh, dude, this guy's so sick. The way he looks. But pretty much their goal is to sacrifice her to their lord, to the cosmos, pretty much, to that dark entity. And they will be given the powers, just as she has, pretty much. Or by sacrificing her, I think it heightens it even more. It's something along those lines. I can't remember exactly. I read this, like, last month, I think. So now I'm just going off of basically from my head. But yeah, they're trying to sacrifice her, and that guy gets absolutely fucked. And then you think he's dead, but at the end he does turn up, and when he turns up, oh, dude, it's so sick. It is so sick. And then it gets really fucking confusing. She's at the point where, like, they're ready to fucking kill her. Well, she's already. They put her on, like, the cross, and they try to burn her while their leader is doing his telepathy and everything and gaining all the knowledge. I think their goal is to look as deep into the cosmos as they possibly can, and they can't do it without sacrificing her to gain her abilities, pretty much. And then after that happens and he gets fucking burned alive, it's like a huge fucking fever dream, and it kind of, like, goes back in time, and Kyoko sees the leader Miguel back then, and when he was sacrificed, or when he was sentenced to death by the shogun and everything for not agreeing with their faith and their religion, their beliefs, and you kind of see everything he went through, and it's so fucking weird because it's like, I think Kyoko's actually talking to him and everything, and it's like she put her mindset in to that timeline or something like that. It gets really fucking confusing. That's what I'm saying. Like, it really does break off into tangents, and the more her abilities heighten, the crazier the telepathy and everything fucking gets. It really is just a shitstorm of just so much shit. It can be a lot. It can be a lot for one reader, and that's why I always say, like, that's why I say it does feel sometimes maybe not like a cohesive story, and maybe it does kind of give off the vibes of the rest of his, like, short stories put together, but it is one cohesive story, even though it breaks off into these tangents, these sections. I shouldn't say tangents, but just these different sections, and it's like, from most of, the 4 sections, I think it breaks off into. They don't really have to do much with Kyoko. It's just kind of how everything's affecting the people around her and shit. Because for a while, she's just walking. She's just doing her thing. She's just walking. She doesn't have a fucking care in the world. Yeah. She goes back, puts her mindset somehow, I guess, back in that timeline, and everything's explained to her, and that's where everything That's where the beginning finally does make a lot more sense. That's why I say the ending really does explain itself. Pretty much what's happening is like in when her mindset or whatever is placed back into that timeline, and the Shogun is pretty much lining all like Miguel. They're pretty much having them carry their crosses and everything, and they are bringing them up to the top of Mount Sengoku, and that's where they killed them off pretty much. But you find out Kyoko's not the only one who was able to put her mindset here, or actually maybe he was able to put his entire body here, but he is playing as one of the main people that are having them march up to the top of the mountain to kill them. And yeah, it's that cult leader. He's covered in bandages around his head, and then he unwraps it all, and you see his face fucking burnt and everything, and it looks sick as hell. And then yeah, they fucking drop them all in, and that's how it originally happened. That's how Miguel died and everything, and that's why the volcano shoots out like his golden hair, I guess, because he was sacrificed to it. All of them were like, they have them line down the entire like rim of the top of the volcano, ready to just drop them in while they're on their crosses. It's really fucked. But I mean, I would say, I guess, pretty much the whole premise of the story is light versus dark. You know, it's pretty simple, but it's light and dark. And I wouldn't say it really has a happy ending or a sad ending. It does say though that the battle was won, pretty much, and eventually Sengoku erupted and destroyed the entire village, and there was no more of it. And that at the very end it says the path to light is still going, pretty much. So I don't know. I can't lie to you and say I wasn't confused for a lot of this story. I was. That's why I am having a hard time explaining it myself. I put down some notes, but it's not enough. That's why I say you definitely need to read it to really understand it for yourself. I'm not the best at at explaining things. That's why, I'm trying my best with these reviews. I'll admit, me trying to tackle a Junji Ito book for my second manga review probably wasn't the smartest thing, but I love his work, and I really just wanted to talk about it. And I know it sounds like I'm just a rambling mess right now, but if you've read his work, it can be confusing. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be, a confusing mess of distress and anxiety and emotions, man. Like, it's a roller coaster. There's so much, but you stay so attached to it because of his artwork and the writing, and you just know the next page after the next page there's going to be something better, one after another. Like, it doesn't really die off. It doesn't go stale. It's once it starts, it doesn't stop. That is how that's just how his work is. That's how Uzumaki was. That's how Remna was. I mean, I think I enjoyed this ending a bit more than Remna. I don't know. The ending just it wasn't there for me. The rest of the book was fantastic, but the ending, I just would have done it differently. But it doesn't matter because I'm not Junji Ito, and Junji Ito is like a master at horror for sure. But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It doesn't look like a lot, right? Doesn't look that thick, but it is a lot. It's a lot to pack into one book. It's hard for me to explain. I do apologize. I'm going to keep ranting on and rambling about this, so I just need to stop. Just read Censor. Just do it. If you like Junji Ito's work, I think you'll love Censor. If you like cosmic horror, sci-fi, UFOs, mutations, godlike abilities, the cosmos, space, read it. If you love that religion shit that's always in fantasy lore, it's in there. Just give it a read. Like, that's really all I can say. I enjoyed the book. It is still confusing for me. I think I'll read it like 2 more times to get a better understanding of it at some point, but a first read, I did enjoy it. It has some amazing panels, which is no surprise from Junji Ito. So, yeah, that's all I got to say about it. I enjoyed it. It's great for the spooky season. All of his books are. Just if you don't know anything about his work, go research it. Go give it a look. I really recommend Uzumaki, and Remna, and Censor. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm new to this. Cut me some slack. Junji Ito is a beautiful person, an amazing creator, an amazing writer, an amazing illustrator. I love his work. I'm gonna continue to read all of his work. There's just a lot. It's a lot that's going on. There's a lot going through his brain that he's trying to put on paper, man. I'll tell you what. But yeah, guys, that's it. Let me shut the fuck up. That's going to bring this video to a close. And if you did like the video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Please comment, subscribe to join the Lurk Line. As always, next time, have a good time. Stay garbage hour content. That's been it. Peace.